Greetings, everyone. I'm not sure who's here. I haven't even had a chance to check the chat yet. I've just come on. I'm doing a very spontaneous, rapid little show here. Let me just check who's in for this evening. Hello, Nikki. I see you. Hold on. Let me go over here. Let's make this personal. I'm still here. It's actually Terra Illumination. Give me a second. Let's have a look. Am I here? Am I actually here? Yes, I'm here. Oh, I'm actually here. Hello. Greetings, everybody. Greetings across the world, wherever you might be. Hello over here, over there. Over the years, we've been doing this show now for almost 3 years. Can you believe that? Terra Illumination is still here. Terra Illumination has been so attacked, ravaged, and savaged by the algorithm. I'm not dead yet. Anyway, so tonight I had this spontaneous urge that I had to share something with you guys, male and female, all of you, black, white, Asian, Mexican, Hispanic, Latino, African American, Black American, Africans, Western Europeans, Russians, all the commies up in Russia, all the commies over in China. Oh, and let's not forget Latin America, okay? There's all of Central America over here and Latin America over here. So I've been getting all sorts of like little snippets coming from my own personal news feed on my smartphone. I have a smartphone. It's amazing. And I have friends too, and they send me their little clips. Path. So, I am Love Triber, of course. Hello, Love Triber. Right now, tonight, we're broadcasting from sunny Las Vegas. Who would have guessed? Okay? Over here. So right over here. Right there. That's where Terra Illumination is at this very moment in time. Okay? Greetings, everybody. So, okay. Oh, sorry. Oh, Sarah. Oh, I just saw your notes there. Hello, Sarah. Sarah. Hello, Path. Let me just check in with you. I don't want to disappoint. Hello, Pamela. Lionel. Hello, Angie Love. Hello, Sarah Nova. Hello, Nikki. I could probably squeeze in a little micro reading, Sarah, because you just put some money in the pot, okay? Yeah, so it looks a little bit strange on the screen right now. I'm not quite sure what's happening, like some kind of dark mode. Oh, it's okay. So let me go over here. Give me a second, folks. So, how shall I do this? How am I going to do this? Okay, I'm just going to get really opinionated right now. This is probably going to be a short show. I'm just going to voice some opinions, feelings, and thoughts and observations. I can't prove any of it. I'm not a professional astronomer, okay? I'm not a professional politician. I don't have a professional, blog newscasting. Even though Terra Illumination has a direct link to the Situation Room in the White House, nobody actually knows about it. It's like super stealth. Everyone else knows what's going on. Over here in America, we have ABC News, NBC News, CBS News, CNN News, and all the ultra-hardcore liberal left-wing social media platforms and everything. And then they also have a little thing called Fox News, which caters to all the right-wingers. And so, we've got our thing going on over here in America, freedom of speech. We have the Constitution. We have the Constitution, people. I don't know if you're aware of that. The United States has something very unique that nowhere else in the world has. And we shed a lot of blood and suffered a lot of pain. And it's still happening today. The United States as an entity is a very convulsive, transformational environment. I'm going to show you a minute when I go to the charts. Anyway. What's that, Sarah? News is about the views. Hi, Sarah. I see you. Thank you. So, I had a few emails today from friends and family that basically triggered this little show tonight. I knew I had to do something just in advance of the full moon. We've got a full moon coming for the whole world. It happens to be a full moon eclipse. It happens to be on the Cancer-Capricorn axis, which is super, ultra, highly stressed right now. I believe it's actually the very last, I'd have to double check, but I think it's the very last of the Cancer-Capricorn eclipses before we move into all the Sagittarius-Gemini eclipses that align with the Gemini North Node. Love Triber is at work, double tasking, okay? So, let me get to the point. Let me go to the charts for a minute. I just want to show you some. Actually, you know what? Before I go to the charts, I just want to give you an idea of what you're seeing here. This map is an illustration of, let's just be really blunt. This is American military installations and populations and facilities worldwide. Okay, let's have a look over here. On the east coast of the United States, as you can see, it is heavily militarized. We have submarine bases, Air Force, Army, everything you can imagine. Also, all throughout the South over here, it's heavily militarized. We have a massive military, okay? Also over here on the West Coast, we have massive military installations in California, all the way up Northern California and a little bit further up there. But most of it's all over here. All of this West Coast military installation stuff works in alliance with our allies over here in Japan and Taiwan, okay? Over here. Okay, got it? You see that? So this is basically like massive American military installations, okay? The next thing that we have is a little bit over here. As you can see, we have some installations over here. That's mostly to do with dealing with like Colombia, Venezuela, all the drug countries, all the smugglers, all of that stuff, and a lot of the extreme volatility that they have over here in Central America. We try to help out as we can. Next, let's go over here. As you know, we have massive military installations in Western Europe. Massive military, okay? But it's very like shh, 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 shh. Most of this stuff is installed over here. It's been here for decades, since World War II. There is Great Britain, the British Isles, okay? And there's Western Europe, especially Germany, and soon to be Poland. And all of this is here in order to counter the so-called Russian threat, okay? This would be the Russian threat over here. The next thing that we have is massive military installations in the Middle East. You probably know all that already, okay? All the oil and gas wars for the last 20 years, actually the last 30 years, and look at this over here. This is where all the Ishtans are, like Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Afghanistan, all of that stuff. Why do we have so many installations here? Well, it's simply because there are massive oil reserves in this part of the world, and the whole of the United States economy is based on oil. If we don't have oil, we can't operate. So all this military here is, you can dress it up in political warfare, like the Muslims, Al-Qaeda, whatever, and, cultural warfare, extreme radical. that's just all like blah, 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 distraction, because what it's really about is oil, okay? Oil, oil, oil. The whole of this freaking planet operates on oil and gas and coal. There are no world wars happening pending at the moment regarding coal, because there's a lot of coal all over the place. The thing is oil. America has massive installations just to basically make sure that we can protect and defend our interests regarding oil. So let me go back over here. Do you see this little blob over here? Okay? And you see this big blob over here. These are the heavy-duty, communist, hardcore, left-wing, radical, Marxist, extremist populations over here. However, they present themselves to the rest of the world to be all nicey-nicey. Essentially, they are hardcore, totalitarian, communist dictatorships. They have a different way of life than we do. They have a different form of leadership and operating in their populations. It's basically command and control. Basically, you guys, whoever you are, the leaders basically say, you guys do whatever we tell you, how to do it, when to do it, where to do it, why to do it, and who to do it with. And if you don't do that, I'm sorry, then you're going to go into a vacuum. You will be disappeared. Okay? So it's beautiful when it works. It's fantastic. What they have going over here is amazing. What they have going over here is amazing because it works. It's so simple. It's command and control. It's basically, it's an extreme, hyper-abusive communist dictatorship. Basically, you do what I do or you get disappeared. Okay? It's really simple. And by the way, when I tell you to do what I do, it's on the understanding that I know what is best for you. I know what's best for your finances, your family, your gender, your color, your business, your skills, your talents, your reproduction, your location, your housing, everything. I know better. So I'm just going to tell you what to do and how to do it. And I'm sorry if you don't like it, then you will disappear. Okay, so that's how all that stuff works over here and over here. And it's all dressed up to look like it's actually integrated into this beautiful, harmonious thing. Basically, it's this communist, what I think of as a Chinese slave camp, integrated with this amazing thing that we call private enterprise. And so here's the thing. Over here in the world of private enterprise, we are saturated in debt, okay? China is now saturated in debt, so we have reached this global crisis. It's a debt crisis. You know, forget the virus. I mean, the virus is the catalyst that has been dropped, okay? The way I look at it, okay, the whole freaking world is now being contaminated as though there was a massive nuclear bomb that just went. So you know what happened over here in Chernobyl, like in the 1980s, massive nuclear power plants that went ballistic. It's still spewing radiation. You can't go near it. It's the most amazing museum on Earth, the Chernobyl town. It's mind-boggling. Check it out. Go onto YouTube and check out Chernobyl. The next thing is over here in Fukushima, Japan, when they had their massive nuclear blowout in 2012. This nuclear power plant is still spewing out radiation, okay? And it's very toxic, okay? It's very toxic here. It's still very toxic here. We now have the global China virus. It's going everywhere. But the China virus is literally just like the bomb that got dropped to contaminate the whole world. And now that contamination, I believe, allows these folks to propagate their agenda in a way that they've never really had a chance to do before. Because everybody over here, basically the enemy is now getting crushed economically. Okay? China is suffering. They have a lot of damage over here, a lot of collateral damage. But China can afford to lose, 100 million, 200. They can afford to lose 200 million people without blinking. It won't matter. Their country will still going. We can't afford to do that. We only have 360 million people here. They only have 360 million people here. When you combine this and you combine this, it's still only half of what they have over here. So these guys, they don't care, okay? So from my perspective, my personal opinion, my perspective, the real problem is nothing to do with the virus itself. It's nothing to do with, the political left wing, the political right wing. That's just a lot of static and distraction that benefits these folks over here, because the real problem, as far as I'm concerned, is here. Right here. These guys want your lunch. They want to eat your lunch. And they're starting to do it. They have now completely destroyed Hong Kong. They're trying to destroy Taiwan. And they're also working on trying to destroy India. They need to expand. They have to expand. They have to propagate their agenda or they die. I mean, that's just who they are, what they do. They are trying to survive. These guys are trying to survive. They need so much food, so much water, so many natural resources to survive and keep going. Where are they going to get it from? They can't do it all from here. They have to import it from here, and 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 from here. China sucks in massive imports from all those places. And in exchange, China pumps out massive exports to here, to here, to here, to here, to here, and to here, and to here. Okay? We all know that. Everywhere in the world, you go anywhere in the world, if you want a pair of sneakers, it's going to come from China. You want a pair of, you want a women's handbag, a look-alike, it's going to come from China. Okay? All of it. It's all being manufactured over here. So there's a massive convulsive shift going on. I call it global restructuring. And when we talk about, let's see, all the political stuff, that's great. To me, that's like the background. That's like the staging that makes everything look like it's really political and interesting. But for me, the real issue is this relative to this. And the way this is happening, it's like World War III, okay? It's like a stealth war, Cold War, okay? Because they can afford to keep doing what they do. They have 1.4 billion people. They can afford to blow off 1 billion people, and it won't even matter. Okay? They have about 1 billion people that are expendable. We don't have that over here. We need every person that we can get here to be functional and operational. So, they're doing what they do. America's doing what it does. Europe's doing what it does. Africa's doing what it does. Everything's happening. So it's just this beautiful thing. But guess what? This is where it gets fun, people. Guess what? All of this stuff that happens goes through the currencies. The currencies like the Chinese yuan, the American dollar, the Swiss franc, the British pound, the Japanese yen, and so on and so on and so on. And so what's happening is this beautiful place over here that we call our land, our home. I'm an American guy. I love America. And I feel like I have a very strong bond with America. If you saw my astrology chart and you looked at the American chart, you could see that we're bonded, okay? Me and the United States, we're bonded like this, okay? So I love this country, but I'm also very sad about some of the things that are happening in this country, but I'm also very proud of some of the things that are happening in this country. So we're coming up to the so-called birthday of America. And of course, as some of you probably know, it's going to be a highly controversial birthday party, because inside America right now we have all these extreme political factions that are kind of going at it like this, you know. So we have a highly volatile environment. That highly volatile environment benefits these folks over here, because it's like smoke and mirrors. They can think like, ha 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 ha, America's falling apart, ho 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 ho. Now we can do what we want. Have you noticed anything recently, people, in the last 3 months, how China has become extremely aggressive with India and Hong Kong and Taiwan? How convenient is that? Because everybody is focused on what's happening over here in America. China, that's perfect. It's just like a magic trick. Hey everybody, look over there. Everybody, look over there. Look what's happening in America. You see what I'm getting at? Okay? It's just a big freaking scam. The virus is like a bomb. The virus is this massive, like, global nuclear bomb that has affected everyone, everywhere on planet Earth where human beings live. The virus is there. So that's, to me, as far as I'm concerned, well done, China. Congratulations, you did a fantastic job. You can afford the collateral damage. It doesn't matter. It makes you look like you're cool, like you're not guilty. Well done. Okay. In the meantime, America is going through its own massive convulsions, which makes it very convenient for these folks to do what they want to do, because we're so sucked up and wrapped up in our own, convulsions. Let me go over here and I'll show you. Let's have a look. Okay, this is going to be fun. Stay there. All right, I just want to show you something. I've been babbling about this for a long time. I wrote that book, as you know, and we're right in the thick of it now. Actually, let me get the book. I'm just going to show you. I know. Okay, I'm very proud of my little book. Okay, here it is. I wrote this years and years ago, and it's all about global restructuring, January 2020. I wrote it years ago, and basically it's all about what is happening today. And one of the key words that I put in here is basically financial warfare, financial catastrophe worldwide. Okay? Especially because it centers around the United States. Now, some of you who've hung out on this channel know a little bit about astrology. Okay? Some people think astrology is insanity, but I don't. Okay? I'm just going to focus on the United States now. I don't want to go pointing and blaming. Everything that I just talked about right now, those are just my personal opinions, my personal observations. Anybody with any kind of political skill could destroy my arguments and my opinions. Anybody who's interested in the way I feel, they could easily find materials to support my opinions. So it doesn't matter. These are just opinions. But look what I feel. This is, to me, watch this. You know, when I do astrodoodles, I think of them like little miniature weather charts. I know some of you who've seen my shows before know what happens when I do the astrodoodles. I tend to just focus on the very, very most basic things, okay? So this, right now, is a basic, very primitive universal chart, okay, for the 4th of July, 2020, which is coming up very, very soon, okay? Right here. This is it. It's an astrodoodle. You won't find this anywhere else on Earth, and it is from Terra Illumination. You heard it here first. Okay, so this is the universal chart. We put Aries on the horizon and in basic traditional amateur astrology like I do. And so Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. So right now, at this full moon eclipse coming up, we have a huge cluster of planets in Capricorn, okay? And the moon is going to be here in Capricorn. So let me put that over here. Give me a second. Bear with me. I have to kind of talk my way through it. We've got Saturn at the 0 degree point. Okay, we've got Jupiter. We've got Pluto. And now we've got, we have Venus. Okay, and over here we have Uranus. Over here we have Neptune. And over here we have Mars. Okay, right now it's black and white, but watch what happens when I put on the Tarot Illumination red marker. There you go. That's it. That's basically what my whole little show is about tonight. This is what's happening at the full moon eclipse around the 4th of July. We have a massive Capricorn cluster stellium up here. We have a massive Cancerian energy here because it's very strong. And it's in heavy squared challenge with Mars in Aries. Now, Mars in Aries in itself is just a wonderful thing. It's all about the energy of basically, I'm right. I know I'm right. I'm going to do what I have to do. I'm going to take action. I'm going to do what works, and I'm not going to do anything that doesn't work. I have a right to be me. I am going to be me, and basically, God help anybody who gets in my way. Okay. Now look how extremely stressed that is. Okay. With the full moon. Okay, now bear with me. I don't have the paperwork to do it here. I don't have all the software and the bits of plastic to do it. But some of you might have noticed when I did other shows. Hold on. Give me a second. Give me a second here. This is going to be a short show because I'm just trying to get my opinions out there and to share them and to back it up with westernized astrodoodles from Tarot Illumination. Basically, my opinions condensed into astrodoodles. And the funny thing is about my astrodoodles, I bet you, if you actually went up to some kind of really high-powered academic astrologer who has, thousands of dollars of software, they've been doing mundane astrology for decades, it would be hard for them to deny my observations, okay? So I'm going to go back. I'm going to share my observations, okay? This is personal now, okay? This is coming directly from the heart and soul of Tarot Illumination. Okay, here we go. You see this axis here? This is fundamental to the United States of America. Let me put it this way. On a natal chart, the United States of America has Sagittarius rising, okay, over here. Gemini in the 7th house over here. And the United States has a massive stellium in Cancer up here. The United States has the Sun and Mercury, and I think it's, I can't remember. I don't have it in front of me right now. Right up here. So isn't that a coincidence that we have massive conjunctions in Cancer at this full moon eclipse, matching the United States birth profile? Next, isn't it a coincidence that the United States is born with Pluto, excuse me, I'm going to get a little pointy pen here, with Pluto in Capricorn at 27 degrees. Now, isn't that a coincidence? In other words, the American birth chart, the astrology of America, maybe I'll do another video about it, but the astrology of America has very profound axes on the Cancer, Capricorn polarity, right here. Okay? This is born into America. This is born into America like an astrological birth chart. And if any of you have ever had an astrological reading with tarot illumination, you'll know that I take these kind of alignments very seriously. Okay, so let's just say it's not a coincidence that the 4th of July 2020, okay, 4th of July 2020, on a full moon eclipse, which I believe is an evolutionary gateway, just happens to coincide very, very tightly with the birth characteristics of the United States. So I personally feel that the United States is under heavy scrutiny of itself, with itself. Americans facing off with Americans. Americans facing off with Americans. And guess what? Mars is in Aries here right now. Some of the aspects that are happening right now are going to last towards the end of the year. Mars is moving around in Aries for the next 6 months, back and forth with all these retrogrades. Let me go back to the generic chart. So in other words, you could basically say, forget everything that I was just talking about. Just look at this chart here. When I look at this chart here, I see extreme hostility. I see extreme volatility. It's a beautiful thing in some ways, like, wow, this is an amazing chance for the United States to really wake up, shake itself up, and get itself together, okay? Doing what it has to do to get done what has to be done. And that's happening at its solar energy over here, the sun sign of America. America Cancer sun sign, which happens to be opposed in its natural birth chart by Pluto in Capricorn over here. So, hey, historically speaking, 2020, is it a coincidence that this piece of eclipse energy that's happening basically right now, especially on the 4th of July, is it a coincidence that this thing here is under so much pressure in itself, and that it aligns perfectly with the birth data of the United States? In other words, America is at war with itself. Mars is the energy of the warrior, especially in Aries, okay? Mars in Aries does not mess around, okay? Okay? Okay, think about it. Mars in Aries. I do what I have to do because I am right. I know that I am right. I do not ask for permission. I do not waver in my actions. I do what I have to do. And I'm sorry if that's a problem for you. It's beautiful when it works. It's really powerful, strong energy. Mars in Aries. Mars the warrior. Mars the go-getter, the doer. Get stuff done planet. The defender, the protector, the warrior, okay? Mars in Aries. But in terms of the transits in heaven right now, it's in hard conflict with the Sun and Mercury and with Pluto, Jupiter, Saturn, and the Moon. So there's a tremendous pressure cooker here. The way I see it, this is like a powder keg. The way I look at America, America is like a powder keg. Okay? And then, let's make the connection. 4th of July. I don't really want to say anything more than that. All I'm suggesting is that from my opinions, my observations, the United States is a powder keg right now. And the 4th of July is a perfect opportunity for the powder keg to sort of have somebody who has an interest in lighting the fuse to get the powder keg to blow. Okay? Does it sound like the conspiracy theory? Or does it just sound like the ramblings of a nutcase amateur astrologer? That's for you to make up your mind. I'm just voicing my opinions, okay? But right now I have to tell you, My personal belief is that the United States is under tremendous pressure in terms of the astrology, in a way that hasn't happened for hundreds and hundreds of years. I also feel that the world, the whole of planet Earth, is under tremendous pressure from the astrology in ways that hasn't happened for thousands of years. 2020 is a highly significant year astrologically, also in terms of global history, the way global history pans out. That's what I've been trying to illustrate here. This is not a promotional video for the book, because the book is already becoming part of history. This is already, it's already happening. So I wrote this years and years ago, and it's all coming into fruition now. So, anyway, back to my point. The 4th of July in the United States is a massive full moon eclipse. It happens to be in a very hard square with Mars in Aquarius. So, as an amateur astrologer, what I see is volatility. I see a powder keg. I see America lit up. And would that surprise any of you, given the news that we've seen lately? All the hardcore people on this side, okay, I'll just focus on America, okay? All the hardcore people on one side of the political thing, all the other people on the other side of the political thing. It is a powder keg. And they're all looking for an excuse to blame each other for anything and everything that is wrong with the United States. Now, go back to here. Give me a moment. Let's go back to this for a moment. Now, anyway, if this was just a personal chart of a person and I saw this, I would suggest that whoever this is as the person, they are born into a lifetime of massive transformational energy healing, going through deep convulsive changes where their deepest soul energy rises and ebbs and flows in conflict with their day-to-day solar energy. The sun energy relative to the Pluto energy it's as polarized as you can possibly get. If you think of Pluto as the most remote planet that we allow for in astrology, and you think of the sun as the most powerful, okay? Wherever Pluto lies in our chart, that is the place where there's going to be the most change, transformation, and growth of the soul. Over here, this is where you live your life, in the sun. So America is born this way. America is born with sun. Can you see how that applies to the United States? Creative destruction. America is renowned for a mind-boggling creativity that has global influence. But it often happens through massive convulsive. So I think it's happening at a political level today. How polarized we are as a country. Everybody's blaming everything. Everybody is blaming Aries. Hard square, hard square. And it's going to be very tight hard square at the full moon very shortly. So let me go back. Again, what I see, I'm just going to get to the point. I see volatility. Now, it actually might be very, very peaceful. It might be that there's just a couple of random, freakish, revolutionary outbreaks in the United States. Militants versus militants. Left wing versus right wing. Or it could be also that a lot of Americans are realizing, you know what, I just want to stay home. I'm just going to stay home. I'm going to have a barbecue. I'm just going to have a few sparklers. And I'm just going to be glad that I have the Constitution. I'm just glad that America has the Constitution. We have freedom of speech, okay? We have the right, freedom of press. We have the right to bear arms. We have the right to pursue happiness. We have a free market economy. We have the right to protect and defend ourselves, the right to bear arms. Nowhere else in the country has that explicitly laid out in a constitution. That's why a lot of people aspire to what we have. But the problem is, the thing about being America, or being American is that you have to understand the great responsibilities and commitments and obligations that come with our Constitution. A lot of people in America, they want the benefits of the Constitution, but they don't want to adhere or honor or respect the obligations, commitments, responsibilities, and duties and respect that has to go to the Constitution in order to benefit from the Constitution. There are a lot of people who just simply want to rape America, get everything that they can out of it, and defile the Constitution, okay? Because they can. That's the attitude of gratitude that does not exist, okay? If anybody who's watching this, anybody, doesn't matter where you are over here, if you value freedom of speech, freedom of press, freedom of expression, the freedom of religious, sexual, racial expression, be grateful that America exists and that we have a Constitution. If you don't care about that, fine, good luck. Personally, I care. I'm very, very glad that America has this Constitution. I'm very sad that the American Constitution is heavily compromised right now. It is under so much pressure from ourselves inside America, from here, okay? I'm just letting you know, I'm just voicing my opinions. I believe that a lot of the warfare that's going to happen over the next 4 years or so, while Pluto transits over the 27-degree mark, Pluto 27 degrees coming up in the next few years or so, what is going to happen is that there's going to be global warfare with the currencies, okay? Especially the Chinese yuan and the American dollar, the Japanese yen, and all the European currencies, Latin currencies, and Southeast Asian currencies. I'm going to leave it at that, people. I've had my ramble. I've had my thing. I just had to get this stuff out there and share it with you. You can do whatever you want with it. I'm just voicing my personal opinions. I'm just sharing. My personal belief is that I feel very lucky to have what we have here. I'm very frightened in the way that the American Constitution is being basically destroyed and undermined by people who have other agendas. Okay? So there we go. Just another little video from Tarot Illumination. You know what? Cheers, everybody. Even though I believe America is a bit of a powder keg right now, it'll be okay. America will survive. We'll come out of this one way or another. But this is a tumultuous year for the United States, which means it's going to be a tumultuous year for the rest of the world. Why is that so? It's because every freaking economy on the planet is directly or indirectly linked to the United States. And the United States is directly, like it or not, married to China. It's like a very, let's say, in some ways a very unhealthy relationship. I see America as like, China is like this massive slave camp that's married to a massive debt farm. Get it? Think about that. A massive command and control slave camp run by a communist dictatorship married to a debt farm owned by the Federal Reserve and operated by the federal government. That is a very strange marriage, but they are so deeply intertwined. What's that looking right now? Because they're trying to disentangle themselves. Ha, 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 ha. I wonder what's going to happen throughout the rest of the year of 2020. Remember, we have another 6 months to go And a lot of it is going to be retrogrades. So it's going to be a lot of, hey, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. No, let's fix this. Let's do that, do that, do that. Okay, we fixed it. Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. Oh, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong. Oh, wait a minute. I'm wrong, I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Oh, wait a minute. I'm right, I'm right, I'm right, I'm right. Like, oh, actually, wait a minute. Maybe I'm not. So there's a lot of that going on, okay? Anyway, here we go. That's it, people. I just wanted to share. Oh, Serenova. I have no idea. I'll do you a little mini reading. Okay, stay right there. All right, Sarah. You did a little micro reading, so I'm going to... I don't know what it is. I don't even want to know. Okay, I'm not going to do anything. I don't have time. I'm hungry. I have a lot of stuff to do. So I'm going to put this aside. I'm going to pull out a little deck. This is for Serenova. Sarah, I'm a little micro reading. Yeah, this is a little micro reading. And then after this, we're going to wrap it up because we all have lives to live. It's Thursday night in America. It's Friday morning, Friday afternoon in Southeast Asia. It's dawn over in Europe. Okay, here we go. All right, Sarah, let's have a look. You know, I'm going to be completely random, okay? Cards are already well shuffled in advance. Thank you very much. Let's just see what the message is for Serenova tonight, okay? Could be anything. I'm going to ask my own personal invisible friends to join me right now and take advantage of these sacred moments that we get to share, where Tarot Illumination gets to communicate with people all across the world. And it's very, very personal, very private, very intimate, and yet at the same time it's very public. It's a beautiful thing. All right, so Sarah, I ask that you also invite your invisible friends to gather around you, and we're going to make the best of it. Think of it as like a little gathering. Just imagine you're like in a salon, as they say, a salon where here's Tarot Illumination on the side of the studio, and there's you on the other side of the studio, and we're having a one-on-one personal micro reading, and everybody gets to watch and enjoy, including all of your invisible friends and all of Tarot Illumination invisible friends, okay? Yeah. Yes, you do. You do have friends, Sarah. I guarantee that you do. I absolutely guarantee that you do. All right, it's beautiful. We're already good to go. I'm just going to shuffle it up. I'm just going to use my situational spread. It's the same thing that they use in the White House, where, as you know, I have direct links. You know, it's top secret. And everybody knows that. Okay? Okay? Here we go. Here's the situation. Here's the challenges. Here's how we're going to handle it. And so I'm allowing for all sorts of, weather, astrological weather events. But in your situation, I'm relating this to the planets. Okay, so we have the Two of Swords here. My feeling here, with the Two of Swords, like basically out there for you, it's very supportive. And to me, it's telling me to tell you, dear Sarah, it's time to really, really start paying attention to your psychic abilities, your clairvoyance, your clairaudience, your clairsentience, your abilities to receive information. You are ready, you are willing, you are able to receive information, basically from the great beyond. And it needs to happen in kind of a neutral way, so that you basically, when I look at this right now, and I mean, there are so many ways you can read the Two of Swords, but my feeling is for you, Sarah, It is time to take advantage, especially of this full moon eclipse, and kind of like do this. Give me a second. It's like, okay, pretend I'm Sarah. Okay, it's like, oh, okay, I'm getting my reading, okay. And then you kind of like, if you could raise your arms like an antenna and sort of go like this. And just kind of sit like that, kind of in a very strange, private, meditative state where you extend your arms, literally, like this, okay? And you turn yourself into an antenna, more of an antenna that you're normally used to being. So when you do this, it's like, it's by intention. It's time for you to become more tuned in with the great beyond, your invisible friends. How do you do that? It's actually a physical process. You can coach yourself, train yourself, teach yourself to become more and more attuned. It's just like learning how to really tune a shortwave radio. Have you ever heard of that? Okay, so be aware that there's more information out there to you besides what you might see on YouTube, social media, Facebook, television, friends and family and all that. It's time for you to tune into the super high frequencies in terms of extrasensory perception, high sensory perception, clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, all of that. Okay, what's the situation? Okay, so with the Seven of Pentacles here, my feeling is that, Sarah, you already know that you have certain gifts and talents by birth, by nature. But you're starting to realize that a lot of your gifts and talents are impeded by, let's just say, clutter. Okay? For example, if you're living a life where there's, let's say, too much distraction, or there's too many things going on that are really not much to do with the things that really count in life. And so to me it feels like this full moon is a wonderful opportunity for you to really tune in, turn on, and get in touch with yourself, like a self-examination. Wow, I need to take full advantage of the retrogrades. Mercury is still going to be retrograde. Take advantage of it and allow for your invisible friends to show you the obstacles, the mess, the weeds that need to be cleaned up so that you can really shine, so that your true talents can start to become more and more evident, okay? So that you basically become more and more true to who you are. Things that are measurable, like, wow, I am a little bit more psychic than I thought I was. Maybe I'm good with accounting. Maybe I'm good with administration. Maybe I'm good at handling responsibilities. Maybe I'm good at this. Maybe good. Figure out what are your strengths, okay? And then understanding what are your weaknesses. And so in order for you to cash in on all your abundance, it's not really about how do I cash in? How do I cash in? It's all about how do you remove the obstacles that are obscuring and like weeds that are blocking your natural gifts and talents anyway. Now, what's the problem here? Hold on. Okay, so Sarah, there's a Three of Swords here. A lot of people are scared of this card. My feeling is like, you see, this is actually a Swords card. It's not a Cups card. It's actually Swords. And so my feeling is to understand that if you have any situations in your life that are basically very painful, okay, that you are already aware of, things like betrayal, deception, lies, self-destruction, abuse onto you by another, betrayal upon to you by another, and so on and so on. If you're aware of that, and you're frightened of admitting it or showing it or acknowledging it, that would be understandable because nobody really likes to admit that they've been hurt, betrayed, screwed over, undermined. And even worse, they don't like to admit that they're actually part of the equation. Okay? So my feeling is that it's almost like being scared of reality, being scared of your true self, being scared of having to do the homework and the cleanup campaign to get to the things in your life that really, really count. And the reason why is because you've been screwed over. You've been screwed over by other people or a significant other, and you have unwittingly screwed yourself over. And that's a frightening thing. You obviously don't want to do it again. But right now, here in this reading, what it's telling me is that it's a really important topic of conversation to bring into the light. You know, you've got to reveal it to heal it. So please understand, it looks to me like you're really scared of being hurt, really scared of betraying yourself, really scared of being betrayed by others because it's already happened. You know what it's like. Maybe you've already got just recently screwed over and you don't want to deal with that again. So how are you going to move forward? How are you going to deal with things? Okay, I would say to me, it feels like a deep energy of acceptance, and look at it like as a chapter in life where you have loved. You have given so much. You have shared so much. The chances are, Sarah, that you might have one of these like very natural, generous, loving, giving kind of heart natures, and some people take advantage of that, and you keep going anyway. So my feeling is that in order for you to keep going, look at this full moon eclipse as a realization that no matter how bad it is, no matter how much you've been screwed over by others, no matter how much you've screwed yourself over, no matter how much work it is to clean up your act, no matter how much it takes for you to really increase your sensitivity and upgrade your vibrational frequencies, it's just another chapter in life where you understand and accept that I have been loving and I have been loved. I did it here, I did it here, here, and here. I've loved and I've lost, but I still go on, and you're going to keep going on, and you're going to be heading into the unknown, but that's the same for all of us, okay? We're all heading into the unknown, whether we like it or know it or not. And so I think the way to handle your situation is to look at your life as a journey and like, wow, I got really screwed over. Wow, I really got burned. And I have a lot of mess to clean up. And it's worth it because you have all these pentacles here. And so for that to happen is to go deep into the heart center of the self and realize, it is just a chapter. I am a living, growing, sentient being. I have wisdom, knowledge, and experience. I am going to grow. I am going to become more HSP. I am going to become more high sensory perception, extrasensory perception. I am going to do the cleanup campaign of my life. I accept and understand that I've been screwed over and I've screwed over myself, but I keep going because I am loving and I am loved. And that's the only thing that counts. You just keep going and you keep reminding yourself that you are loving and you are loved, okay? I just saw your note there. You're fearful of the unknown. Understandable. Here's a way to deal with it. Invite it. Okay? Sarah, that's the end of the show, basically. Sarah, what I'm saying is, bring it on. You will prevail. I don't think you would be on this channel unless you could handle these kinds of frequencies, okay? So my feeling is for you, Sarah, in other words, you just said, well, I'm scared of the unknown. The way to handle it is, you know what? Bring it on. Bring it on. Dear angels, dear invisible friends, dear guardians, dear archangels, dear spirits from the great beyond, dear guides, dear loving beings, dear pets from beyond, dear relatives from the great beyond, I know you love me. Please help me to evolve, adapt, grow. Please bring to me that which is mine. Okay? Please take away from me that which is not mine, so that I can evolve and grow. Bring it on. Ask for the unknown to come to you. Okay? There you go. So that's your mini reading. You'll be fine, Sarah. You'll be fine. It just takes courage. Courage. You're in the right place at the right time with the right people. Don't worry. Oh. Hello, Yvonne. This really isn't a show about readings. I was just having a tarot illumination, I guess, an opinion show. Sarah, you come from a from a family of terrible people. A long line of terrible people. Okay, so Sarah, just take some time, digest a little reading. You're not over, you're not done. You're just going through a chapter right now and things are changing. Yvonne, I see your super chat money, so I'm going to give you a reading. May I have a reading? I am seeking direction for what I should be doing in life. Direction, reading about direction, okay? So I'm not really going to be doing any more readings. Yvonne, this is it. Everybody else, this is it. I'm just voicing opinions tonight, but I'm going to wrap it up now with Yvonne's reading. Let's go over here. All right, now Yvonne, before I can even have a chance of doing a reading for you, I need a top-up on my beverages, okay? I'm going to give you a reading. You're going to get your meeting reading. I said I would, okay? So you're going to get it. Here we go. Let me just shuffle it up, and then I'm going to have to top up my beverages, and then I'm going to give you a mini reading. Okay, Yvonne, okay? Thank you for the donation, but I didn't even see that note until I already said you're going to get a mini reading. Okay? Normally we do the mini readings on Sunday night. Sunday Night Live, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Okay? Whatever that looks like for you across the world. I wish I could have more time to do more of these shows where I could do like readings on Wednesday mornings, and so I could get everybody over in Europe and Southeast Asia. Yes, you just popped in late. It's okay. It's okay. You missed the bulk of the show, but that's okay. All right. Stay there, Yvonne. I have to get a top-up. Stay right there. I'm not going away. Actually, I need to... How am I going to do this? Doopy-doopy-doo, doopy-doo, doopy-doo, doopy-doopy-doo. I'm going to have I just need a minute. Okay, I just need a minute. Here we go. Oh, man. Spill. Crash. Bad. Okay, I'll be back. Stay there, Yvonne. You gotta laugh, right? You gotta laugh. So, sorry about that. It's like it never happened. Look at that. Wow, miracles, people. Miracles. Actually, there's a lot of like residual stuff, but I'll take care of it after the show. We have to read for Yvonne. Yvonne, by the way. Okay. Okay, so let's just do this. Okay. I'm going to put this aside here, even though it's all kind of smudged and stained. It's okay. It's odd. It's interesting how the cards weren't really touched at all. It was a big spill. I lost half a glass of wine, but you never know. You'd never know. Unless I told you. Alright, let's have a look. Okay, so let's keep going. Now the cards were already shuffled well before the spillage. But I'm going to go again to the very, very last second. So Yvonne, you know the routine. I know I've seen you here before. It's okay. And you said something about, what was it? I saw some notes from you. Okay, so it's like a life direction type of mini reading. Okay. Life direction. So I'm just going to bang the cards here. There's a like, it's keeping it very, it's a really pristine, beautiful deck. Okay. We're going to keep it that way. Cheers, Yvonne. One last micro shuffle and then you're ready to go. What's direction in life? Direction in life for Yvonne. Let's have a look. Hey, Yvonne, would you mind disclosing to everybody, where are you? Are you in America, Europe, Australia, New Zealand, Canada, somewhere? I'm very curious. All right, here we go. What messages do we have here tonight for Yvonne regarding directions in life? Okay. Here we go. Here's the situation. Here's the challenges. Here's how we're going to handle it. And let's have a look at the situation measure for you. Okay, so you've got the Seven of Swords here. My feeling is that it's a little bit... The Seven of Swords is a precarious card. I interpret it in all sorts of different ways. So, Yvonne, you're up there, they're in Chicago. Okay, with the Seven of Swords here, my feeling is that the way I'm looking at this right now, this is like, I'm serious, like, okay. Dear Yvonne, you didn't hear this from Tarot Illumination, okay? This is just some kind of random show on YouTube. And I'm just a face and there's a map, okay? And nothing existed before this moment. Nothing exists after this moment. This is the healing power of now. When I see this Seven of Swords for you, my feeling is it's like a little secret message from your invisible friends. Oh, don't be shy. Basically, do whatever you have to do to get done what has to be done, okay? And don't worry about if you might feel a little bit guilty or ashamed or, let's say, what's the word? Out of sync with yourself in such a way that you wouldn't normally choose to behave like this. On the other hand, what is it? There's a I don't want to go into the movies and descriptions, but basically there are moments in life where you have to do what you have to do to get done what has to be done. Even if at your soul level you might think this is a little bit underhanded, this is a little bit despicable. I hope that makes sense. Like, for example, you might have to withhold certain information. You might have to withhold certain behaviors. You might have to withhold certain information. You might have to withhold certain behaviors. You might have to withhold certain information. You might have to withhold certain information. You might have to withhold certain behaviors. You might have to withhold certain information. You might have to withhold certain behaviors. 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 You mi carry yourself or behave in such a way that you would not consider, like if it was from someone else, it would be a little bit shady or unethical. Whatever it is, okay? Do not apologize, okay? My feeling here with the Seven of Swords, be prepared to do what you have to do, behave in the way you have to behave, say what you have to say in order to get done what has to be done in such a way that benefits you. Okay? God. Okay, now what's the situation itself here? Direction in life. In other words, it's like, don't apologize. Be smart. Use your talents. Use your gifts. Use your wits. The Knight of Wands. So my feeling is that deep down, you have a little bit of a sense of mission somewhere. There's some part of you which feels like, I am here for a reason. I am Yvonne. I am not just here to fill space or kill time. I'm not here to hide out in the background and just, eat potato chips and watch Netflix all day. That is not my purpose. That's not my meaning here on life. I am Yvonne. I have stuff to do. Okay? And I think this needs to be acknowledged. Okay? So, and it needs to be embraced. In other words, it's almost like it's time for you to embrace yourself, be proud of yourself, and be willing to have the courage to do the things that you have to do to get out there and be who you are. Okay? Whatever that is. Maybe being an inspiration to others. Maybe, especially like you talked about direction in life. My feeling is direction in life is to literally take care of number one. Okay? And in so doing, that's the best thing that you can do for other people. Be your most awesome self. Go out and do the courageous things. And don't apologize. Okay? What's the challenges here? Look at that. The Three of Swords again. 2 readings in a row. Okay. To me it feels sort of similar to the last reading, where it's important to understand that there have been periods of time where some of the suffering that you have endured in life, especially emotional, heart pain, perhaps relationships, you have to understand that some of it is your own doing, because it's like, what's the way, how can I say this without really hurting your feelings? It's like, when you're living your life, being who you are, doing what you have to do, it is inevitable that you're going to meet some kind of resistance somewhere from somebody who takes offense to the fact that you are you, just being you, and you are living your life. Some people don't like that, okay? And they take it personally, and they start to blame you and target you for as if you are the source of their problems. So if you have ever experienced or gone through chapters of life where you realize, like, wow, I really got screwed over. It's so important to realize that you're part of the equation. And sometimes, you don't want to be screwed over, but you end up being screwed over. And that's part of like a life lesson. It's not exactly fun or pretty. And if you've already been dealing with these kind of things, obviously you want to minimize this. And it's like there's a deep fear of this happening again and again and again and again. But it's time to break the cycle. To me, it's almost like figure out the game plan that everybody used to screw you over and screw them over back. But you don't do it with maliciousness. You do it for self-preservation, okay? You're basically like, okay, I understand your game. I see what you did. I see how you screwed me over. I understand how I was a victim. I understand how I was stupid, innocent, unaware, spiritually lazy, whatever, and I end up getting screwed. But then you have the knowledge and wisdom so that you move forward doing what you have to do so that doesn't happen again. So how are you going to move forward? Very carefully. So in terms of like direction in life, and this is a kind of a very broad spectrum reading, what I would suggest here with the Two of Pentacles is tune in to the emotional turbulence and dilemma of anything and everything that surrounds you. Make sure that you are aware of the challenges, okay? All right, so this is a very weird interpretation for the Two of Pentacles, but this is what I'm feeling here. The way to handle your situation going forward in terms of direction of life, Yvonne, is to allow yourself to feel what has to be felt, even though it might be uncomfortable, even though it might really bring up very old wounds, and then make the decision to go forward with courage and do whatever you have to do that has to be done without apologizing, okay? So that you can bring your life back into balance, one decision, one step at a time. Just like, almost like an accountant working through a piece of really sloppy accounting, okay? So, Pentacles has to do with money, physical, material realities and things. So, okay, let's go to accounting. Okay, let me condense this reading into a couple of little basic things. It's just like, be prepared to take full accountability. Take full accountability of your life and own it. Like, oh. And then kind of go like, okay, well, I can see how I screwed up there. I can see how they screwed me over. Partly it's because I was innocent or dumb and I wasn't aware. And you figure it out. So with the Two of Pentacles, you go forward step by step by step by step. Very, very carefully. Always basically maintaining the equilibrium. But you can't do that without being aware of like the emotional turbulence. Imagine you're literally, hold on, give me a second. Okay, go to the imagery itself. Imagine that you are having to sail across choppy waters. You do what you have to do to get from A to B. Sometimes it's tricky, but you just do what you have to do. It's a balancing act. I used to be very involved in sailing when I was a child. And you have to have very acute senses, and you can't afford to apologize for doing what you have to do. You have to have the courage to move forward, understanding that you've made mistakes, people have screwed you over, and you keep going anyway, but you do it step by step. So direction in life is move forward, do what you have to do, don't apologize. Most importantly, be aware, make it your business to be aware of the turbulence, of the bad weather that could destabilize you. Then once you are aware of the destabilizing factors, do what you have to do to stabilize, okay? That's it. Hello, Joanna. I see you. It's the end of the show. I'm actually going to wrap it up right now. Thank you, everyone. I just want to let you know Joanna the Medium is here. I feel honored. Cheers. Thank you, Path. Good night. I'm going to say hello. Hello and goodbye to everybody. I wasn't expecting to do any readings. We did one for Sarah Nova. We just did one for Yvonne. Thank you very much. All of those things help. I love having the donations. I need donations. I need members on Patreon. Please, if you want to help Tarot Illumination keep going, go down to the links below and get set up with the Patreon membership. And super chat donations work, of course, as well. I'm doing everything that I can within my abilities to keep the channel going, so that I can basically, I like to help people. Okay, so if you need a personal reading, check the links below. We can do the astrology, all that stuff. Okay. If you want to have a mini reading, come to the Sunday night live, $10 super chat readings. We can do that. If you want to, go to the website, tarotlumination.com. You can connect. You can subscribe to the newsletter. All of that helps. I'm trying to work smarter. Okay? I burned out in October 2019. I burned out. Tarot Illumination burned out. I realized that I was in an environment where I can only do so much. The YouTube platform is what it is. I'm not going to fight that thing. There is no substitute. There are alternatives, but there's no real substitute. So I'm doing the best I can with what I got. Thank you, everybody. Good night. Hello, Joanna. Good night, Joanna. We'll follow up again soon. Okay? And I'm going to basically phase out. Okay? Let me see what I've got here. I'd like to just kind of like very gently kind of disappear. I hope you don't mind. It's like, how can I do this? How can I do this? Very gently. I'm just going to disappear gently. All right?